Welcome back, folks. Today's Friday, November 24th, 2023. Born on this date in 1939, Jim Yester of Birmingham. Now, he was a singer and guitarist in The Association. They had a string of hits in the 60s. Cherish, Along Comes Mary. If I sang them, you'd recognize them, I promise. Now, we're on holiday weekend deadline, so I recorded this earlier than usual, so I definitely encourage you to check AL.com for news updates during the day, unless you're visiting or guarding the leftover dressing. We're going to talk about the wrestler who came to the state to have some surgery, an example of repurposing abandoned public facilities, and what became of the priest who left the country with a teenager. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. There was a little splash on social media this week after wrestler turned actor Cena spent his second stay in Hoover for shoulder surgery, reports AL.com's William Thornton. Shoulder surgery on Cena sounds pretty major. When your arms are big as Hulse Cartwright's neck, all shoulder surgery should be considered major. The reason he was in Hoover was to get the procedure done at Andrews Sports Medicine. Dr. Jeff Dugas there specializes in shoulder, elbow, and knee injuries. Dr. Dugas is also a team physician for several high schools as well as Troy University. Cena had his first procedure on the shoulder in 2015 at Andrews. Well, looks like there's a new chapter in the story of a once popular neighborhood swim park that's turned into one of those old abandoned places after photos you see on the internet. South Roebuck Park, or East Side Park, depending on who you talk to, dates back to the 1950s. In 1963, a swimming pool was put in and it became the East Side Swim Club. Now you can picture that very Americana scene during the next few decades. Young'uns spent endless summers there. Future weather reporters learned to swim there. Somebody probably brought along a baby Ruth. That whole thing into the 1990s. Nearly 30 years ago it was abandoned. Now it's an old shell of concession stand ruins and a cracked, sun-bleached dry pool. Nature has about reclaimed it, and the folks at Ruffner Mountain want to help that along, reports AL.com's Greg Garrison. The Ruffner Mountain Nature Coalition owns the 6.5-acre property, and the Birmingham City Council has agreed to a $1 million plan to turn it into a park with wheelchair-accessible trails. It's not connected to Ruffner Mountain property, but it's in the neighborhood. And when people have called Ruffner to ask about disabled-friendly places at Ruffner, well, Ruffner just hasn't had much to offer. With this plan, funded mostly by American Rescue Plan money, Ruffner hopes to have it available by 2026. A 30-year-old Mobile priest who was stripped of his duties when he lit out for Europe with a recent high school graduate is now married to the woman, reports AL.com's Warren Kulo. Alex Crowe is expected to be formally removed from the clergy by the Vatican. They call that being laicized. Back during last school year, he worked at McGill-Tulin High School. Over the summer, he and a newly graduated student traveled to Europe and stayed there for around 4 months. During that time, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and Mobile County DA's office investigated, but did not find that any crimes were being committed. Well, thank y'all so much for listening. Have a great weekend. Enjoy that ball game, Alabama at Auburn, 2:30 p.m. on CBS. I may not be back right away, but we'll take care of you. Until then, come by and see what we're up to on the internet at AL.com.